Okay, so we are going to start with a new chapter today in biology. Basically, it's the first chapter that you will encounter. That's called biology, the living world. ठीक है, इसमें हम living world के characteristics, छोटा सा chapter है, लेकिन आपके competition में भी ये है और आपके competition में तो है ही, plus आपके boards में भी ये है. ठीक है, so living world का chapter है and there are a lot of things which need to be covered here. जितने भी मैं कवर करने की कोशिश करूंगा ये मैंने बोर्ड पे ऑलरेडी लिख के रखा है ताकि हमारा टाइम बोर्ड पे लिखने में वेस्ट ना हो. ठीक है, सो वी आर ऑल अवेयर व्हाट इज द लिविंग वर्ल्ड. लिविंग वर्ल्ड इज बेसिकली मेड अप ऑफ लिविंग थिंग्स. सिंपल. ओके, नाउ इफ वी हैव टू कंसिडर लिविंग थिंग्स देन ऑब्वियसली वी हैव टू कंसिडर लिविंग थिंग्स in comparison to non-living things. ठीक है, so how do we do that? So what is living? So first of all we have to understand what is living. Okay, so what is living is life is a unique, what do we categorize as living amongst all the things that are there around us? What do we categorize as living? What is a living thing? We all have different definitions, right from kindergarten we have been studying what is living and what is non-living. So we all have a different perspective about what is living and what is non-living. However, scientifically, what is living? So living is something which is connected to life. Okay, and what is life basically? So life is a unique complex organization of molecules. Okay, so it is an organization of molecules. See, we are not talking about a body, we are not talking about growth, anything. We are just talking about molecules which are arranged in a pretty much complex way. Okay, life is a unique complex organization of molecules that expresses itself through chemical reaction which lead to growth, development, adaptation, responsiveness to stimuli, etc. Okay, so how do we understand this? See, life is a unique complex organization of molecules. So we have different molecules in our body. We have molecules of proteins, we have molecules of carbohydrates, fats, lipids, okay, vitamins, minerals. So all these are what? Molecules, and there is a constant chemical reaction which is involved. Okay, so basically if I talk about carbohydrates, so the burning of carbohydrates produces energy, and that energy is something that we basically use in our day-to-day activities. So this is again a chemical reaction, burning of carbohydrates. Proteins are basically amino acid chains. Okay, there is a particular mechanism for the generation of proteins in our body in different cells. So different cells produce proteins, and these proteins basically are responsible for the growth and development of the body. Okay, we have fats which are basically stored carbohydrates. We cannot be in a process of consuming food every now and then. So there has to be a gap when we consume food now and when we consume food. So this gap is basically covered by the amount of fats that are stored in our body. Okay, then we have lipids, then we have vitamins, minerals. So all these are basically what? Life is a unique complex organization of molecules. So all these molecules are there in our bodies. Okay, so all these molecules are very complexly organized in our body. It's a very complex structure of these molecules. Every cell is going to have these molecules. So when I say a body, almost all these things, there might be exceptions. Okay, there might be exceptions here and there, but every cell is going to have these complex organization of molecules. So all these will be very complexly arranged as molecules in our body. So life is a unique complex organization of molecules that expresses itself through chemical reaction. So basically there are certain chemical reactions which are always happening. Okay, that expresses itself through chemical reactions which lead to, now these are chemical reactions which are happening. For example, we would need energy. How will we get that energy? By burning of carbohydrates, okay, fats, lipids and all that. Okay, so it expresses itself through chemical reactions which lead to growth. Okay, so growth is one aspect of life. Development, okay, now development means what? How is growth and development different? See, growth means height in growth or body. Development means, let's say your brain is developing. Okay, since the time you were a kid and now there's a lot of development that has happened. So this is called development. Your heart is developing. Okay, the functions are developing. Okay, your breathing rate is increasing or decreasing as per your age. Okay, for example, in kids the breathing rate is too high. So this is called development. Okay, when we were in our mother's womb, okay, when we were not born, we were not breathing through lungs. We were breathing through the umbilical cord. So let's say a kid when that kid is in the mother's womb, there is an umbilical cord which connects it to his or her mother, and nutrients as well as oxygen, all of it goes through this umbilical cord inside the kid, all right, inside the baby, which is yet to be born. Now this baby, basically, the entire thing is going inside this, okay. Once it comes out, once the baby is delivered, okay, it has to cry. Why? Because it will now, so the lungs which were there inside the body of the baby will now become functional. Till the time the baby is inside the mother's womb, the lungs are generally not functional. Once it comes out, the lungs become functional immediately. Okay, the umbilical cord is cut. Now the baby has to breathe using the lungs. Okay, and that's the reason a lot of times doctors pat at the back of the baby so that it starts crying. A baby which is newly born and which starts crying is a very healthy sign. Okay, although crying can be irritating, but crying is a very healthy sign. That means that the baby has started breathing through his or her lungs. Okay, so this is called development. See, things change. Okay, in our entire cycle of life, there's a lot of changes that are happening, and these are basically development. So for example, our brain develops, our heart develops, our lungs which were not functional till the time we were inside our mother's womb become functional as soon as we come out in this world. Okay, adaptation, obviously this is a very unique feature. So animals basically adapt to their surrounding environment, and as we have already studied Darwin, the one who can adapt to its environment is the one which can survive. Okay, so the more are the adaptive features that an organism develops, the more will be the possibility of it surviving. Okay, so a lot of geological changes have happened through millions of years in the entire earth. If you look today, the Sahara Desert is one of the biggest deserts in the world, but at one point of time, millions of years ago, it was not a desert. Okay, it was basically I would say a jungle, or a huge amount of natural resources were available. Just as any other place or dense Amazon forest, it was also one of them. So slowly it developed into a Sahara Desert. When it developed into a Sahara Desert, did all the animals which were there as a part of the jungle that it was before, did all the animals survive? No. Some survived, some perished. Okay, the ones which were able to adapt to their environment, the ones whose bodies adapted to their environment, whose features adapted to the environment, were able to survive. For example, trees, cactus will survive. Okay, certain animals which can bear the heat will survive. Okay, so this is how in spite of a change in the entire geological thing, okay, animals might survive because they develop adaptation techniques, just as we are developing adaptation techniques. Now the corona thing is there, so a lot of businesses have gone topsy-turvy, a lot of income has gone, so we are trying to survive. Okay, in the last 4 or 5 months, everybody is trying to survive. It's difficult, but then this is called adaptation. Okay, responsiveness means how quickly do we respond to a change in our environment. Now this change can be life-threatening, this change can be useful to our lives as well. See, if we see a certain change happening in our environment which is useful to us, then we will very well welcome that change. Okay, and if certain thing is happening which is, for example, after a long summer, a very heated summer, when the rain finally arrives, when the rainy season arrives, we are happy about it, all of us are, right? Not when it continues till 4 months, but at least at the start of the rainy season, we all feel happy about it. We feel a little cooler, the atmosphere gets controlled in terms of temperature, there's a lot of water which is available, and this is for all the species. Okay, all these species all across the world. So rains are very important. So there is a positive responsiveness towards rain which is happening. Okay, anything which is harmful to us, or anything which can be life threatening to us, we have a different set of mechanism to respond to it. So no matter what, okay, whatever chemical reactions are happening within our body, they are happening because there are certain molecules which are consistently present, and these molecules are having some amount of chemical reactions because of which these things are happening. Okay, so what is living? Life is an unique complex organization of molecules. So any life, why are we saying, why are we not defining in terms of body? Because animal bodies are different, right from unicellular to multicellular, their body shape, size, etc. are different, but the molecules that they have are more or less common. So the molecules which are there in different types of organisms to sustain life are more or less common. So we actually when we define something, we come to a standardized point. एक standard पे हम आते हैं, ठीक है? So when we define something, we actually come to a standardized point. So standardized thing is molecules. Molecules are present in all living organisms. Bones might be present, might not be present. Heart might be present, might not be present. Plants do not have a heart. Brain might be present, might not be present. So we cannot define organisms or living things in terms of their organs. Okay, we cannot define in terms of their body shape, size and structure, because there is a variety of living organisms that are there on the earth. Okay, so when we have a standard definition for living organisms, we will have to have standard things to date. Okay, so standard things are molecules. These molecules are present in all living organisms, almost all living organisms, because they are absolutely 100% necessary to sustain life. Okay, so growth, development, adaptation, responsiveness, etc. Okay, now what are the characteristics of living things? Okay, how do we define this? What are the characteristics of living things? Growth, obviously we know that growth is a process which has to be there. So it's an irreversible increase in the mass of an individual. Now what do you mean by this? See, growth, when I say that there is a growth in the height, you have seen that animals or even human beings, their height or the growth of their height stops after some time. Okay, so if it stops after some time, then definitely there is something that happens which will increase the mass, okay, mass of an individual. So is it that our mass keeps on increasing? No, even the mass becomes constant after some time, until unless we are having a very sedentary lifestyle, we are not having any exercise and all that stuff. Okay, so obesity is a different thing. Now what we mean here is irreversible increase in the mass of an individual. Irreversible increase in the mass of an individual, it means that this mass which has increased cannot be reversed back. Now what do you actually mean by this? Means if I am, let's say 80 kgs, if I weigh 80 kgs, can I not go down to 75 or can I not go down to 70? Yes you can. Yes you can. Okay? That's not the thing. What it means here is irreversible increase in the mass of an individual. Multicellular organisms, what do? Their mass increases. How does this mass increase? This mass increases by cell division. One cell becomes 2, 2 cell becomes 4, 4 becomes 8 and so on and so forth. So there is a continuous cell division that is happening. Okay, so it is an irreversible increase in the mass of an individual. It doesn't mean that his mass is increasing. It means that the content of the cells is continuously increasing. We cannot have the cells the same. The cells are continuously dying, they are being reborn again, dying, reborn again. Okay, so there is a constant division that is happening, and this is the increase in the mass of an individual. So this is irreversible increase in the mass of an individual. The mass of an individual is constantly increasing in terms of the mass of an individual is constantly increasing. Irreversible increase in the mass of an individual. Multicellular organisms, mass increases, so this means cell division. Okay, clear? So it doesn't mean our body mass, it means our cellular mass. Okay, so the cellular mass is increasing, which means that the cells in our body are increasing. Okay, if they increase, obviously the cellular mass will increase. Okay, yes, mass of the body definitely increases. Okay, and it should increase. With our age, the mass and the height both should increase, but what we mean here is the cellular mass. Okay, so irreversible increase. Whatever cells we are acquiring today, we cannot. So if I say that from cell A my body made a cell B, so now B will not go back to A. Okay, B will either worn out, die, or whatever it happens. Irreversible means B is not going to go back to A. Similarly, from B, if we are going to C, it means that C will not go back to B. Okay, so it is called an irreversible increase in the mass of an individual. Irreversible increase in the mass of an individual. So multicellular organisms, their mass increases, cell division. Mass increases why? Due to cell divisions. Okay, now plants. How do plants? So we all know that in plants we have meristematic tissues. Okay, meristematic areas where cell division occurs regularly. So let's say this is a plant. Here the meristematic tissues are present, so cell division occurs. Here the meristematic tissues are present, cell division occurs. Here the meristematic tissues are present, cell division occurs. So in meristematic tissues, the plant's cell division happens regularly. Okay, so meristematic tissues are present in plants where the cell division occurs regularly. So in animals and in plants, the cell division thing is a little different. Okay, in animals the cell division thing is little different from the way it happens regularly in plants. Okay, so these are the two things that we have in terms of growth. Okay, now in animals, growth occurs only to a certain age. So we all know this, right? Let's say in human beings, after 25, at least by height you will not grow. Okay, so in animals, growth occurs only to a certain age, after which cells divide to replace worn out and lost cells. So after this also cells are getting created. Cell generation is a continuous process. Till the time an organism is alive, the cell generation is a continuous process. However, the rate at which the cells are generated might go less with age. Okay, so in an old person, the rate at which the cells are getting generated will become a little weaker or a little less. Okay, so that's what makes him old. Okay, the skin cells, the internal organ cells, okay, they are also getting generated in an old person. In fact, till the time a person is breathing, the cells are getting generated. However, the rate at which the new cells are generated becomes less and less with age. Okay, now in animals, growth occurs only to a certain age. Maximum till 25 you are going